Hi. We're here.
I don't think anybody's there. Nope. Literally nobody is there.
I'm sorry. Oh, there's people here.
There are.
Yep. They've arrived. Oh, I'm getting my chair here. Remember what we're supposed to be doing. That one. Okay. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to tell us something. They have figured out the formula for chaos.
Nutball.
When the clock strikes 8:30, babe, time to head for Chris's house.
Hey.
Will the sun make it to the next round? Oh no. Pot of thunder. Let's pot tonight. Come on, baby, let's pot tonight.
Woo! Yes. Welcome to Pot of Thunder, the recognized symbol of excellence in rock and roll podcasting, brought to you by patreon.com/Pot of Thunder. Something for everybody. I was looking. I can't even believe the deals we're running on there.
We must be out of our minds.
Yeah.
Andy told us to stop it.
It's too much. We're giving
He
everything
called
away.
us last night.
We got an email from corporate. Said you're giving away the farm, guys.
What are you guys doing? Can't give all
drawers are a little light.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The deals are a little heavy.
Yeah.
For $5 a month, you're giving all that away.
Yeah. You guys, no wonder you're all broke and terrible business people.
Exactly. Well, you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? You and your wallet. Cough it up, you crumb. Patreon.com/Pot of Thunder. It's your buddy Andy, America's little brother. As always, joined by the man who's standing up. This is my favorite part of the show each week, where I have to stall a little bit awkwardly while he gets up and gets ready to do his dance for you. But here it comes. Something dancing his way across the podcast studio. Nick Pollock has entered the program. Nick, hello.
Hello.
What's happening?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Oof, good. I just got a thread up my nose from your cape. A
Yeah.
runaway thread right up the
Yeah.
nostril.
Combined with your vocal performance, you're going to pass out over there.
Yeah, you got to hold that note for a while sometimes.
Sometimes
I have to start taking advantage of that.
Well, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it's not a possibility. Today it was a possibility. It happened. I think I must just be excited that you're here. Maybe more excited than other weeks. I don't know what
It's
that's
exciting to be here.
Good. Picking up my second hat off the ground here.
Physiologically exciting.
Is that the hat you shit in when instructed to do so?
When you're told to shit in your hat.
Yeah.
This is
When
the
I
one.
suggest that we give away more new stuff and we add it to
Yeah.
Patreon,
Let's give away more.
And we don't raise
just-
the price.
just thought of something.
Mhm.
Let's put that in there.
This is
And
the hat.
Andy says, nope.
Arturo says, Nick, shit in your hat. He's the corporate boss. Shit in your hat,
Yeah,
please.
there's a picture of me shining his shoes.
Mhm.
So
There you go. That makes sense. It all checks out. Nick, welcome to the show.
thank you.
Immediately to your left, you want him. We got him.
I can have it every day, yeah. I can have it. Get out of my way, yeah. Fuck you.
Put your hands together for the breakout star of the podcast medium.
Put your middle fingers together.
Yes, that's
Can you
right.
do that and make a noise? Let's see.
Raise them
Barely.
up?
Yeah,
Little bit.
Andy did it.
There you go.
You get
Tell the world to fuck off and get out of your way.
You get
It's
a-
all about you.
a million people doing that. You'll have one of those Taylor Swift concert earthquakes on your hands.
What's that? I don't know
I
about
don't know.
that.
Didn't that happen?
Well, like people were so
There were so many people,
enthusiastic.
so
They were so
enthusiastic.
Turned up on a Richter scale, I think. I don't know.
no kidding.
I wouldn't mind challenging that. I think I could do that in a stadium full of people.
Well,
and strutting out to my theme song.
Well, I'm willing to bet that our listeners weigh about as much as 4 Taylor Swift fans, so
Probably.
we wouldn't
yes.
need as many tickets to be sold.
No.
I don't know what I'm saying.
No, you're
I'd
right.
like to
though.
take this moment to apologize.
Well,
Yeah, small, I'm thinking children.
Well, Taylor Swift fans are about less than 100 pounds.
That's what I
on
was thinking,
average.
and most of ours are about 350.
Yeah.
If we do the math, it's still insulting.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? You tried to cover for me. It didn't help.
It's not our fault. It's true.
Sorry, I got my calculator out and was still a little bit upset.
Well, food is good. So what are you gonna do?
Speaking of which,
What do you got over there? Something?
I hear
I hear
some
he's got a-
rustling.
He's got a bag.
I got a bag.
He didn't give anything though. Is there something in it?
Yeah, there's
Okay,
something in
good.
it.
Why,
What are you
I don't
talking
know. I don't know.
Who wants to eat dainties?
What is this?
Who wants to eat baked treats with me?
I thought it was maybe a new thing where you just rustle the bag, then put it away. You decide nothing. Oh, nothing for
start
you guys in the bag.
Clapping my middle fingers together.
Well, like maybe it's like Santa's bag. He's got nothing for us. He's got
Oh,
something
no,
for
there's-
others, but not for us.
There's many.
Many in this bag.
So we're both pulling from this bag.
Yeah,
It's a shared bag. Are these
Shared.
individually wrapped candies?
they are.
Okay.
Looks like that. Yeah.
Alright. Chris took one. I will have the
No,
rest.
I got 3.
Okay.
Plenty of them in there. How
little-
many are in there? About a dozen?
Ah,
More?
Probably more.
So it's like a little wax paper wrapped candy. I don't know if it's some kind of caramel.
It is.
Perfect for podcasting.
It is a it's a nice buttery caramel.
That's what everybody wants to hear.
Yeah, they want to hear that in their ears.
It's going to be the rest of the show. Well, is there something? Because it looks a little darker than standard caramel. What's going on
Caramel's
here?
a little dark.
What happened?
It's a pomegranate caramel.
Ooh, I like
What?
pomegranate.
Yeah, so and my candy thermometer's on the fritz again.
Now,
But-
how does that break?
It's
Is it
amazing.
electronic?
No, it's not.
Well, how does it break?
I don't
then?
know.
It's like a,
there'll be blank spots. It's like it's red, then blank,
like a
and then red
mercury-
again. Yeah,
mercury
like
thing,
but
but
the
it-
mercury, it's not visible the entire way up. So it might be a little bit softer than it should be.
So
Just
there's
letting you guys
mercury
know.
in it.
Story of your life.
Just letting you know.
There's
in advance.
mercury in it, and it's softer than it should be.
Hey, Bev is
And
asking.
it's frequently on the fritz.
Here you go. Bev says pomegranate molasses.
You better believe it.
Yes. Okay.
Got to do something with that bottle I bought last year
There you go. Why did you buy that?
just to make stuff because I saw it at the store
Okay.
in like the Middle Eastern area. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy that and see what I can do.
Okay.
So it's a little
Well,
softer.
yeah, pomegranate is a Middle Eastern thing, isn't it?
Is it?
I think it is.
I don't know.
I think its origins are from the Middle East. I think so. I think it's a Middle Eastern apple. It's not technically an apple, but that's like a nickname for
With
it.
about 1 million more seeds than a
Mhm.
regular apple.
Yeah. Wow. Well, okay, Chris, what'd you think? You ate one.
It's good.
All right.
Pleasantly surprised.
And it might be if it's a little sticky, then I'd say just kind of like eat it off of the wax paper. Might be better than having your hands
Scrape.
all sticky for the next hour plus.
Scrape your teeth on it.
Yeah,
There you go.
but I thought they turned out pretty good.
It's not quite as satisfying as scraping the cheese off of McDonald's hamburger wrapper, but it'll do. One of life's greatest joys.
And putting it back on the burger.
I'm putting it right in my
Oh,
mouth.
putting them right in his mouth.
Yeah.
I'll put it back on the burger.
No, I got no time for that.
No.
That's just a little bonus for me if it's stuck to the wrapper. Okay. Well, Nick, I'm excited to eat this. I can't wait to
Tough to eat. this
Yeah,
one.
it's a little. But
not like Butterfinger BBs, which I remember on the bag in all caps it said easy to eat. It's one of my favorites.
well, that's not a bad thing to put out there on
Who wants-
a food item.
If you're debating between buying something and not buying it, you want to know that it's going to be easy to eat.
Well, like in
You do.
over in the UK, everything says digestible, digestive.
Hmm.
They want that hammered home.
So it's not something that's going to be stuck in your colon
They,
for months at a time.
Yeah, it's possible to digest this product. They just want you to know
Easy to shit out is how I would write it.
That helps too. All right. So we're back in the rotation here for starting with last week.
We are.
And it's my turn.
Andy's up.
Oh, I'm going to make it hurt. Let's see. What do we got here? I'm looking at the list, pulling up everything.
I'm not going to look.
You're not looking? Oh, yeah, because you guys can see
I
behind
want to
me.
be surprised.
Yeah, I always forget you guys can see. Better hide that folder of glansies that I have open. Okay. So we've got from number.
Just don't open the folder. You can have it up. I don't want to see what's in
I
it.
keep it open permanently.
I might do that. Just a random folder, glansies. Doesn't have to be anything in it.
And he's got a running slideshow in the background.
Yeah, my screensaver.
If you ever see the desktop, you'll find that.
All right. So we got up to number 1433 here. So we're gonna go.
Really?
Yeah.
It's, numbers creeping up, man.
What
It
is
is,
it?
right?
1453?
I like to hear that.
1433.
33.
Well, Bev says digestives are biscuits,
Yes.
which are
Which are
cookies.
cookies.
What's going on over there? Let's figure it
Yeah,
out.
you
so
know,
many code names.
It's weird. Everybody's got a different name. You've got parts of the earth have different apples. Can't we just get on the same page? You know, it's like the metric system and all this other shit. Just get on the same page here.
It's been confirmed. Chris Lashir says pomegranates are from Iran. Yes. So there you go.
Did
Wait a
not know
minute.
that.
Jerry says Iraq. Get to the
Uh-oh.
bottom of it. There's going to be
No wonder there's no peace.
Yeah, they can't even decide who the inventor of the pomegranate was. My goodness.
All those people look the same to our listeners.
Oh,
They don't,
terrible.
They don't care what the last letter of the country is. Who cares?
They all drive IROCs.
Yeah, right.
That's more like it. Well, we'll figure it out. But somewhere over there, that's where the pomegranate's from. I think I learned that in grade school. I don't know why, but at some point.
That's the first I've heard of that.
Yeah. It's weird that we.
Yeah,
I
didn't know
figured
that.
it was like Maryville or something. I don't know.
Well, it's weird that I don't know how long it's been, but I've only noticed it like in the last 20 years that it's kind of been commandeered as a Christmas fruit. Something
Is it?
Well,
like you add. There's pomegranate flavored 7-Up for Christmas.
the Shirley Temple.
Is that pomegranate? Yeah.
It's like pomegranate and cherry, I think.
Okay.
I got a 2-liter.
Oh, really?
I got it ready.
For what? Who makes it?
7-Up.
Oh,
They got a Shirley Temple version this year.
really? I didn't know
I'm
that.
gonna give that a try.
Yeah, a couple months ago with the Shirley Hemp Hill version of this 7-Up 2-liter.
It insults you.
Which, as it turns out, is just 7-Up.
Yeah. Yep. There you go.
You can do the math on that.
Anyway. Okay. We're gonna go to listener submission list. We're gonna work off this. We're gonna randomly
let's
choose.
move on before I feel the need to elaborate
know.
on what I just said.
I kind of put it
I
out
don't
there
need to
hoping
do that.
I put it out there hoping one of you would get us fired.
Already said enough.
So I could take the rest of the year off.
Yeah, right.
Didn't work. I'll try again. I'll try to bait you guys.
Almost got me there.
Okay. All right, Nick, I need you to pull the lever.
Oh, the lever.
All right. The number is number 116.
116.
Yep,
All right.
116. 116. Looking at it now.
That was my apartment number.
Was it?
Yeah, Jack A was just right upstairs.
There you
I
go.
get it. I feel you on that one.
Okay. I know the artist. I don't know the song. Let me see if there's a comment that would entice me.
Multiple submissions or just one?
Just one. I'm gonna skip it. I don't want it. I'm sorry. We can want it or not want it. I don't want it.
Move along to the next trick.
Nick, again, please. I said do it again. You like how I blamed you because I pressed the wrong button? A little behind the scenes trickery. I don't know what's going on here. What am I looking at?
What number do you got there?
465.
So is this the last one?
No,
This isn't number
this is
3?
2. This is
Oh.
2, Nick. This is 2.
Oh,
this is
I
not
gotcha.
3.
Okay.
Yes.
Follow along, Nick.
What?
Oh, what are we doing here? Okay, so let me see what this person happens to be telling me here. Reading the comment. Man, I don't know. I don't trust you.
Ooh, baby.
I know you submitted it.
Scandal.
I like you as a person. I don't trust you.
You not know the song or the artist?
I know the artist. I don't know as a solo artist. I know this artist from other things. I don't know this song or this person's solo work. So for that reason, today in my current mood, I will be bushwicking.
Move along to the next train.
That's got to be the next one. So,
Oh boy.
Nick, one more time, please.
Best of luck to you.
It's not a lot of luck to be had. Oh God,
Oh no.
the worst.
I think you got to do
Why,
it.
why do you have to do this to us? No one wants to hear this.
I think you got to do it. I don't.
Nobody wants to hear this.
What number did you get?
817.
817.
Why? No one wants to listen to this. Can I look at? I'm gonna look at the screen real quick and
Yeah.
do that other thing where if there's something on
Yeah.
here that's near. Hey, one of the other guys might be like, yes, if this came up. I am like, no.
I have no idea what it would be, but
Let me just quickly see if there's anything else that jumps out at me. Maybe one of these might be better. Is there any of these guys? No, they're all different. Damn it.
go to the comments.
You know what? I'm gonna do this. Okay, I've never heard this song. I know the band. It's on here twice. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go to 820. I'm bumping down the list because I can't listen to 817. I'll be outside in the car if you pick that one.
I'm very curious to know what that is.
Yeah, it's here. It's here. We're good. I'm happy. It's on here twice. I trust you guys if it's on here twice, and I'm curious to know what this song sounds like. So
You've never heard you
never heard
you
it.
know the
I know a song by the artist. I know of people who were in the band.
Mhm.
That'll make sense in a minute. I don't know this particular song, so
Okay.
That
could work.
Yeah, it'll work. It's perfect for what we do here. Let's turn the microphone.
hold on.
I was trying to jump ahead. People were trying to offer me money on PayPal to skip this segment.
Yeah,
I
well,
tried.
I can kiss my balls.
Guys, I'll be refunding you. Thanks for trying.
I'm I got a hit on your second poll, 465. So hit it.
Habemos papa.
Time for post up. Ain't that post up? Here's some post up.
The double checking's too close.
Time for post up.
Too close. Not like the original.
Okay, 465 AD. Nick, any guesses as to who the Pope was?
465. I'm gonna go with there's two names. I'm just gonna go with the one I like better, and that's Nicholas.
Incorrect.
Ah,
Interesting name on this one. November 19th, 465. Pope Hilarious.
that's not a name.
Okay.
It is. Pope Hilarious convokes a synod at Rome's Church of Santa Maria Maggiore. First of all, what the fuck is a synod? It is a council of a Christian denomination usually convened to decide an issue of doctrine, administration, or application.
Yeah, they've had those synod. I've heard it.
A synod?
I've heard it called a synod. They've had those in recent years. Some somewhat controversial synods. People
Pope-
always get upset
Pope
about
Hilarious,
Oh, wait.
spelled Hilarus.
Okay. What is a synod, though?
that.
You said
Chris
it's
just read-
controversial.
he read the definition.
I was doing something else.
I'm not reading it.
It's-
It's a council of some sort.
They hammer things out.
governing body of a particular church. So he gathered a bunch of church leaders together to sort some shit out.
Okay, so they might be changing things.
Yeah. In the last couple of years, they had one called the Synod on Synodality, and people are like, "What does that mean?" I'm still not sure.
So it's like
A synod on synods.
How are we
basically.
going to do synods going forward?
I guess.
Let's have a synod about the synod. Let's
Yeah.
do that.
We have to redo the rules of synods
Yeah,
going forward.
Right. It's all because of hilarious. Pope
Well.
hilarious.
Earned his name.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go. Pope stuff. Everybody's favorite segment.
It should be.
Why not?
It's
You
enduring.
literally don't get it anywhere else.
It has an enduring.
No, you
legacy.
love it. So, and we took probably 8 weeks off of doing it. So,
Mm-hmm.
if you got a problem with it, shut your yap. We're not interested.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Andy bushwicked 3 songs and moved on to another one. So.
And if you're in our lurker tier on Patreon, I'm having a side conversation. That's why I missed the definition of a synod. I'm having a side conversation because there I revealed what the songs were, and people are reacting to the one that I
Oh,
said
so
I
they.
hated.
So
I
they-
see one of them up there. Yeah, I understand why you.
This one,
Yeah,
yeah, that's the one that I hate. So
you hate it.
I said, no way, we're not.
Oh,
I'm not
wow.
sitting through that bullshit.
All right, I don't hate it, but I
Okay.
get why you didn't pick it.
Andy
I'll be
hates it. He
outside
hates
if
it.
we have to listen to that. I don't want to hear that ever in my life. Waste of however long it is.
Ironically enough, that band has a song, another one of their big songs is called "Never in My Life." So
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, had no idea. Well, I didn't say what the song is.
No, not yet.
I'm starting to look it up. I forgot what it's called.
Look it up.
I was gonna pull it up on Apple Music,
Oh,
but I didn't even say what it is.
No. You
Okay.
get Jericho on the mic.
All right. Let's turn the microphone over to Chris Jericho.
All right, Hamel. This one's called
Green-Tinted 60s Mind.
Off of
Lean into it,
by the band.
Mr. Big.
Ow! Oh, whoo.
Do you guys
Okay.
know Green-Tinted 60s Mind?
I've
No.
heard the title, but I don't believe I've ever heard the song. No.
By Mr. Big from Lean Into It. There's quite a few quite a few. 7 songs by Mr. Big on here. This is the only one that's submitted twice.
So lean into it. That's the big one, right?
I think so.
That's got to
Or
be
is there-
with you on it.
Or is that Mr. Big, Mr. Big?
I don't know. This has to be with
Okay,
you.
it
I think,
does.
yeah,
Okay.
Lean
I
this
thought
is
you were
what it
asking.
is.
This
Okay.
is the single right before "To Be With You" came out.
Okay. Cool. So first single or not even? How many? singles
This
were
is
there?
the second of 4 singles according to
Wow.
Wikipedia.
Hmm.
Oh no! I just read a description of it. Damn it! Okay. Well, we have to deal.
Well,
with it.
you know what? This is a band that, at the very least,
Mhm.
the string players are both very highly regarded.
What are these?
Paul Gilbert and Billy Sheehan.
Okay.
I would imagine Pat Torpey is a
The
great
second
drummer.
one. In
I just
there you go.
don't
I was
know.
just hoping to not find an anniversary edition, but I'm stuck
Well,
with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
That's all
they
you get
sound
these
weird.
days.
Yeah. I always pull from the originals when possible, but
Understood, but
Yeah.
they don't give you the originals anymore, especially Apple, a shit company.
just going
You
further
guys
down the tubes.
bust my balls on the text group or the group text that I
Mm-hmm.
ruin everything with my Android, but you Apple ditto heads
just got it all figured
the
out.
program. But no, everybody in the band, at least Paul Gilbert, Billy Sheehan, obviously virtuosos. Torpey, quite good as well.
Oh, Torpey.
And Eric Martin,
Eric
hell
Martin.
of a singer.
Yeah.
It's Torpey, huh?
I don't know.
Okay.
Mel
I
Torpey was his father.
I pronounced it synod. What do I know? I
Yeah,
don't
it
know
doesn't
anything
matter.
about it.
If we say it wrong, that's better because then people will correct us.
Sounds better than it sounds better than Torpy.
Torpy sounds like
Yeah.
Torpy.
My name was spelled that way, I'd be like, pronounce it Torpe.
Yeah,
not
that's true.
Torpy.
So this song written by
Torpy.
Paul Gilbert. He's the
Oh.
only credited songwriter,
Hmm.
which makes me think, did we get an instrumental? But it was a single, so I'm assuming not.
I don't know. I know nothing. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, the singer Eric Martin collaborators with our buddy PJ.
That's right.
I think Steve Brown, Trickster,
Mhm.
works with him. Nugent's current drummer Jason, who I hung out with just about a year ago in Wyandotte at the Fozzy show. It's I think might be Eric Martin's regular drummer. I don't know, but
Okay.
frequent drummer. So a lot of people somewhat connected to the show have connections with Eric Martin.
Very cool. Let me tell you who this was submitted by and what they had to say. Mike Medina. Hey, Mike.
Funky Cold. It's probably the first time anybody's ever called him that.
That's
right?
probably never happened. He says, this forgotten song off Lean Into It. Kind of a smooth, folksy rocker. It got a lot of MTV play in the day.
It did? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember this at all. The title of it is
What year did this album come out? 1990?
It says 91.
91.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was busy watching Body Shaping on ESPN. My MTV watching had diminished by then. Body Shaping and Beavis and Butthead was pretty much all I watched on cable back in the day.
Was that already out in 91? I don't even know when that came out. Beavis and
I want to
Butthead.
say so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
probably was. If not, it was
Right around then.
Liquid TV. I'm sure it was on there.
Yeah, it was right around that
I'm
time.
sure you could catch it on there once in a while.
Okay.
With
The
Eon
memory's
Flux.
foggy of that era, but
Controversial statement. Beavis and Butthead, terrible show.
Yeah,
who said that?
Me.
Oh, you.
I've said that in the past.
You have too? Yeah.
I've said King of the Hill, another Mike Judge creation, infinitely better.
I don't like that either.
King of the Hill is great, but yeah, Beavis and Butthead, yeah, there's not much there.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you on that one, but I guess it started in 93.
It's an idiot show.
I guess it started in 93.
93. Okay.
So,
I don't get it. Anyway, Chris Camarado, he also submitted the song. He says, great song, great band, R.I.P. Pat.
Torpe.
Oh, he
Show
passed
the
away.
man some. Yeah, that I knew.
Yeah, he got sick of people saying his name wrong.
Right.
Tossed himself off a bridge. That's what I'm reading here. Anyway, let's see. Okay, people are mad at me because I said that about Beavis and Butthead thing. I didn't mean it. I
No,
was
you're
just trying
right.
to, I was
No,
trying to
you're
start
right.
controversy.
You're right.
The boss Arturo said start some controversy, get people talking. Engagement is what everybody wants to hear. Maybe I need to watch it again. I don't know.
No,
At the time,
it's-
I was like, oh, this is cool. Put this on. But when I've seen anything from it in
No,
more
it's-
recent
it's-
years, I don't know.
It's only worse upon repeat views.
Is it? Yeah.
Years later? Yeah.
That surprises me that you guys feel that way.
I don't get it.
I mean, I'm not over the moon about it, but definitely amused by it.
All right. Well,
The Head was better.
the head was that another Liquid Television thing?
That was another weird show that they had on MTV.
A
back
whole
then,
show?
where the guy's head was like a giant pod.
Can you
There was
imagine?
some kind of something living in it.
You could just do anything
That
you
was a
wanted
terrible
back
show,
then.
too.
And they just put it on.
Yeah.
As long as it was like the right length and it's a professional show. It could be absolute garbage. They put it on TV.
Well,
It
Dead
didn't
at
matter.
21 was on there with
Well, that was like a real
friend
show.
of the show.
Yeah.
Jack Noseworthy.
Yep.
He doesn't know we exist.
He does. We're the only ones who talk about him anymore. God bless his heart. We talk about him every month, at least. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. I've had it with you people. Anyway. Okay, so we're gonna get into this song. Why don't we Yeah, Jerry says I'm all clickbait. Exactly.
This is a clickbait week. Yeah.
Yes, it is. That's what people want. They want you to say the wrong thing.
This is a blabbermouth headline.
Yeah.
Bonanza.
It's just like everything else. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, sexiest man alive. The whole purpose of all that stuff is to outrage you with terrible choices.
Somehow Missy Elliott won both the one year.
It's the only reason for any of that now.
Missy Elliott.
It's just to upset everyone
Yeah.
and get you to complain on the internet. Okay. Quick commercial break. We'll be right back with Green-Tinted 60s Mind by Mr. Big. Some bass chords, huh?
Plenty of flexing so far.
Mm-hmm.
But, it was 1991.
Yeah.
You had these two hot shots on there.
I wonder when this came out in 1991. I don't know.
July. It
July,
says.
okay.
No, wait, that says 2021. That's the
album is
anniversary.
March 26th.
Uh-huh. So I know nothing, but Chris could weigh in on this because he was an adult that was active at the time. But wasn't it later in 91 when things had kind of a hard shift away from
Well,
like
it
metal?
was more. It really kicked in 92, but like
Okay.
September is when Nevermind came out, and 10 came out, and Blood Sugar Sex Magic came out.
Mhm.
So it really just, things like turned on a dime more in 92. Because when I got to Chicago in September 91, I think I arrived here the same week all those albums came out. It was still the Blaze at the hair metal
103.5, the Blaze
radio station here in Chicago. And,
yeah.
it was still a thing, but it was definitely on its last legs. So,
I think, well, we probably talked about this before, but when we think of those years and everybody says, grunge came in and like basically got rid of everything. I think Def Leppard and Aerosmith were still enormous.
Yeah.
Concurrently with, Nirvana's rise and all that stuff.
Somehow they survived.
Those two bands were still huge. Aerosmith probably
for
the
sure.
biggest they ever were.
Def Leppard had a high bar that they were declining on.
Well, Adrenalize around that time, it was pretty huge.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, okay. Bon Jovi was still pretty big. The early 90s albums actually did quite well. So I mean, it's all exaggerated.
Yeah.
Basically, what got eliminated was the Sunset Strip, the goofball party metal that was coming off the West Coast or inspired by that stuff that all just got shoved to the side, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's all, like you said, there's still room for pop music in any musical climate, but the Poisons and the Warrants and all the people who just seemed like goofballs to people were just shoved out of the way.
And I guess the virtuoso guitar gunslinger guys weren't as lauded.
Right.
I mean, you still had your Guitar Magazine and all that stuff, but they kind of got pushed to the background if you were one of those guys.
Or unless you were Eddie Van Halen. I mean, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge was a huge
That's
album
true.
in the early 90s. So, but just in general, we know what bands got moved off, put out to pasture. And so this, March of 91 would have predated that. So this was not like a last gasp by anybody. It was still, type of music was still very much in vogue.
And Vogue was huge too.
They were.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep going.
I'm looking at Andy's face while this is playing. I can pretty much read his mind.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think?
I think there's too much being thrown at the wall. Because you got Sheehan playing those chords still.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of distracting, really. It's so far just in the verse, it's kind of a case of just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it all the time. It maybe should be reeled in a little bit, but it's still early.
It's still early.
But that's the feeling I'm getting. It's almost getting disjointed here
already.
Yeah, a little busy.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the downside of having too many virtuosos at work. I mean, that's one of the things, like, people, and this is a completely erroneous opinion, but people are like, can you imagine if they had a totally technically virtuoso bass player in Van Halen? And it's like, it would have been a total mess. You know, Michael Anthony was the perfect guy for the job. Stayed out of the way and let the other guys take over, and
sang his ass off.
Yeah, exactly, and just didn't make a mess of the music. I didn't get that impression. I mean, I think it's still pretty clean sounding to me. I mean, it's I wouldn't come into a Mr. Big recording expecting not to hear this.
Yeah.
So, you know. And I think the drums are recorded nicely. The snare drum actually sounds like a snare drum, which is sort of the first thing I judge when I listen to albums of this period are the drums shitty or are they good? And they're definitely good on this recording. So.
What's Gilbert talking about here?
I don't know. He said, "You be looking groovy in a 60s movie. Maybe tell the press you died."
Is that some kind of reference to a 60s actress that we're not thinking of?
I mean, I guess Marilyn Monroe would be the obvious one, but I don't know.
Yeah. It's just weird to say that.
I guess I'm going to have to pay more attention to the lyrics. Yeah, like, what's going on here?
What would be tearing her apart? I don't know. Something in her dreams.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, is this
something with fingers?
Yeah,
apparently.
Down in her heart, if it had fingers, it'd be tearing it apart. I don't know. So that's it, I guess.
Interesting.
See, if I was the producer, I'd be like, yeah, we're not going to say fingers there. Say hands instead. Fingers just sounds weird to me. That's what you want from your producer. Somebody to step in and say, yeah, you can't. Fingers. It's like the hobo drifter thing from the White Snake song. It's like certain words just don't hit right in certain contexts.
Yeah, unless we're talking about chicken fingers, I don't want to hear it in the song.
And we're not, so
then it's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I not sure exactly what to make of the lyrics, but I mean, it's pop oriented stuff. It's easily listenable and pleasing to the ear. The melodies, I think.
Yeah. Nice voice.
Oh, great voice.
Yeah.
I mean, outstanding voice. Apparently he's like any other singer who's getting up there in the 60s, whatever, is just, that's one of the reasons why they sort of called it quits, is just he found he can't do it anymore at that level, which is understandable. I mean, you just can't continue on like you were as a vocalist. I mean, there's very few that can do that. But here back in the heyday, very strong voice, and he's a little guy, and he looks like he's 12 years. He still looks like he's 12 years old, and he's in his 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Now, aren't they on their last? They just came out with their last album not that long ago.
Oh, did they?
I thought
think
I read
so.
that. Yeah, and I don't know if they're touring it or they're.
Well, they just. I think they just
they
wrapped
wrap-
up
yeah.
the touring thing. And these guys are, you know, it's a cliched statement, but it's true in these guys. Is Mr. Big's case huge in Japan?
Oh, really?
They're just massive over there. I
Hmm.
mean, way more popular over there than they were here. So, yeah, they did a lot of dates over in Japan on this last tour. I think they came through the Arcada. We're
Torpy,
got all sorts of words that have multiple pronunciations.
Synod, Torpy,
Yeah,
Makata.
but I think they played there when they came through town on this farewell tour. So,
All right. I'm curious to find out what he's talking about. Can't stop talking about the fingers.
Now they're saying they don't need the fingers anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm trying to.
if I had a
this
nickel
together.
for every time somebody told me they didn't need my fingers anymore, I'd be a wealthy man.
I
Could go a lot of ways with that.
Well, again, it's similar to my 7-Up comment. Y'all can do the math on that.
so I see what Jerry just put on there,
What did
and I
Jerry
was
say?
thinking, for now, by Enough's Enough, this song reminds me of that.
I was going to bring that up because Enough's Enough was the band that had like the peace signs and the
Yeah,
the tinted round Lennon glasses and all the day glow colors in their videos, and it was very retro. Certainly an image. This is more like retro 60s vibes directly in the lyrics, but yeah, I was going to bring that up.
but similar. Yeah, pretty similar as far as the style of that first album, at least musically.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent observation there. Yeah.
So a pretty restrained
Mm-hmm.
solo, I would say, up until the point where Sheehan starts playing the same, playing the solo along.
Well,
with
and
them.
then they tossed in a different time signature there
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
technical in that way. But no, it wasn't like a face melting ultra shred solo, which was something he was known for back in the day. I mean, Guitar Center, we had his instructional tapes always playing on a loop behind the accessories counter, and it was like I can't think of the exact title, but it was definitely something along the lines of ultra shred guitar, and I mean, just incredible technical player, but also a very pop oriented guy, and knows how to play for the song and write good melodies, and that's what we're hearing.
Yeah.
here.
I'm thinking about the Green-Tinted Is
Yeah.
that? I mean, are we talking about recreational
Is she high?
cannabis usage?
Maybe.
That's possible.
Intense rock. That's the Paul
Yeah,
Gilbert.
there you go.
And then there's Intense Rock 2. There you go. So that's his thing. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too, Nick. Is that what they're saying? That she's,
Yeah, and I
she's
guess
like she's just got like a hippie vibe to
Yeah.
her, smoking some weed.
I'm wondering
and-
if it's about anyone in particular, but it sounds like, I guess I'll use the word trope, but it could be a song about just a starlet, and it's not all it's cracked up to be. Getting, her dreams coming true are not all it's cracked up to be. There's secret pains that she's got or something like that.
Tell me
Kind of
about
like Fallen Angel by Poison.
Yeah.
Similar thing.
Kicking a guy in the
Yeah,
groin
Andy's
in
got
the
his
video.
green-tinted 60s hat on.
I do. I do.
Came dressed for the occasion. Well,
Something
about
that
yeah.
like a pizza delivery guy who's really high would be wearing.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
I could go for pizza. I don't know.
Let's order a pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that the green tinted makes sense from that standpoint. Of course, we know Jackie's Gods in Green Day. Isn't that a reference to weed?
That's
That
what
it's
I've
a
always
Green
heard.
Day?
Yeah.
I don't associate weed and punk rock necessarily. So I always thought that I thought that was a little bit of an odd juxtaposition there.
Yeah, me too. But
It's
Those
not,
guys didn't appear to be stoned when they were cranking out their stuff, but
Yeah.
this is definitely more of a slightly baked, laid back vibe that makes sense with the music. Yep, Jackie has confirmed it.
So the lyric we came back to here
This
right
one?
out of the solo, hanging out with Janice,
Mm-hmm.
only lends credence to my theory about this song.
Mm-hmm.
A 60s starlet
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
involved in some sort of recreational drug use
Yeah, that makes sense.
to cover up some sort of pain, perhaps.
What happened to Janice?
Janis Joplin,
Heroin, right?
yeah, some sort of drug casualty, I believe. I
Okay.
don't know the exact one, but it was like her, Hendrix, and Morrison were the big three who died pretty close to each other. And moving to Atlantis.
I don't know what that means.
That banquet hall over on 394.
It's not a banquet hall.
Oh, it looks like a giant banquet hall.
Maybe it is now.
Yeah. It's a different kind of banquets going on in that place. But
The tallest doors I've ever seen on an
It is like
establishment.
a 15-foot door.
didn't somebody make a reference to someone jumping into a body of water tonight? Maybe that's it. She's offing herself by jumping into the nearest drink.
That's
Who
an
knows?
interesting line, yeah. If that's what it is.
No, trying to get into the head of Paul Gilbert is essentially a fool's errand, both in terms of lyrical ability and guitar playing. It's probably beyond any of our capabilities, but just another theory that we throw out on here.
Yeah. What does that mean? What's the point of force? It's easy as a horse to ride. Just stuff that rhymes now. Running out of ideas. Assumed
I don't know.
everybody turned it off.
I mean, it's not a line you hear in other songs. So there's that. We might not understand what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But,
maybe it means
it's
something.
not just trotting out
No.
tired lyrical content.
He's trotting
Gotta
out
give him that.
new horse material.
Yeah, the horse doesn't bother me. We can't have the fingers. We got to come up with another word than that. Fingers can't make it onto the final cut here.
Yeah, I would say listen to For Now by Enough's Enough, and you'll hear some musical similarities for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I definitely hear it. I mean, I was making that connection just from the content of this song based on Enough's sort of visual vibe, but yes, sonically, as I've progressed through the song, it was definitely becoming a more of a that connection was coming clear to me.
And it was more of a focused, cohesive sounding pop rock song than when I had first heard the beginning of the first verse, and I thought, oh, there's too much going on. I didn't feel that way progressing further into the song.
Yeah,
Great.
I mean, it was just there was a bit much going on, but you would expect it from those guys. But then they kind of settled into something, that
Yeah.
wasn't as chaotic and busy. There was an outside producer on here, Kevin Elson, who also produced the previous album, which was their debut. His name doesn't link to anything on Wikipedia, so word must have gotten around that he allowed the word fingers to be in the final product. He didn't get much work after that. It's like, what idiot would allow that? He'll never work in this town again. He's done.
Would you guys like to guess how high this album charted on the US Billboard 200?
Like
We'll go-
through this whole run, because it had that massive hit single about 3
Well,
singles
the peak
into it.
position in the US for the album. We could do Price is Right rules.
Which were, I haven't watched it. I haven't watched that show. I reject the Drew Carey version outright. I
If
just
you-
can't accept
If you
that.
go over it, you're automatically
Plus they have
out.
male models. Get out of here. It's like Playboy without the nudity, or with I'm not going to go down that road, but it ain't the same. I reject it outright. So peak position for the album.
For the album in the US. And if you go over the number, then immediately disqualified. So you got to try to keep it reasonable, but you want to be a low enough number.
Okay.
I'm going to say, you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to say 8.
Okay.
I'm going to say 14.
15. Yeah, Andy
Damn.
about nailed it.
You're over.
But I'm
you
over.
win.
But we're
$1.
We're both out.
No,
Right?
because I was
Oh,
gonna,
the other way.
actual higher number
Okay,
was
okay.
out. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. 15.
Okay.
Not
Oh.
bad.
What did I win? Come on.
You win
down.
a trip to Tahiti.
What is Roddy gonna tell you?
Is he still on there?
No,
he's not alive anymore.
There's
Is he
no
gone?
way he's still breathing.
I don't believe he's around any longer.
No.
The other day I put on Wheel of Fortune and they finally transitioned over to the Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm done with this now.
Yeah.
I can't enjoy this.
Again, certain things you just can't accept, and you shouldn't accept it. You should reject it outright.
I thought
This
I
shit
heard.
would stop if people would reject it.
I thought I heard that Vanna wanted Pat's job
She probably
as
did.
host.
She
How come she
probably did.
didn't get it?
Because Ryan Seacrest said, I'm
Oh,
taking it. And they
yeah,
said,
Van-
oh, okay, anything for Ryan Seacrest, a guy who has been not moving the needle for 30 years.
Exactly.
Add him to the list with whatever else we were talking.
Inexplicable career.
Yeah.
That guy.
He was good looking at a time. And
Okay, there's a lot of good
right.
people
I'm
out
saying,
there.
what else does he got?
The male models on The Price is Right are good looking.
Yeah.
Should they be the host?
And he was good at like the American Idol, introducing the show at the beginning, and that's it. Like, hey, we're in Chicago. You know how whatever his assignment was.
Yeah.
You don't want him as the host of a show.
I've never seen him say anything that contained any substance.
Zero.
Whatsoever.
Clearly,
at all.
his real talent is the maneuvering he does behind the scenes
Yes.
to put
Yeah.
himself
Must
in
be.
position for this shit.
Yeah.
He basically, muscled a completely out of it Dick Clark out of the way and like took over his whole operation.
Yeah.
I mean, to pull that off, that's where you tip your hat to the guy for his ability to create these opportunities for himself. But in terms of talent and charisma, he has zero of either.
Yep. Agreed. All right, it's time for us to vote. Sweet Surrender or Kick in the Crotch. I guess I should go first because it came. I chose it from the list
think
from
so.
Mike and Chris. I'm going to kick it.
Oh, geez.
It's a humiliating kick in the crotch.
It's a nicely done, delightful melody. Everyone did their job. I just don't like it. I'm sorry. I get it, but it's not for me.
Andy's gonna pat Summerall it between the legs anyway.
Exactly. Kicking it. Don't like it. Don't need to hear it ever again. Doesn't mean it's bad. It just means I don't like it. Who wants to vote
Andy
next?
hates it.
I hate it.
I'll go next.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna give it a Sweet Surrender.
Oh,
It's sweet surrender. Hell yes.
It's I really started to enjoy it as it went on.
Yeah?
I thought, you know what, this is a song I might give some repeat listens to, and I might check out the unknown stuff off the album. I mean, everybody knows To Be With You. But you know, and in having these virtuoso players, but then having that big song be just the straight up like the acoustic thing, it's very extreme. Extreme had
More Than
words and Wholehearted, but More Than Words more so. And you had, you know,
And that
fantastic-
predated this, right? That came out what, 1990?
I think so. Yeah, but the fact that a band can do that, what was it, the Slaughter song that we listened to that was just straight, like, stylistically very different than what we were used to.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I enjoy that when a band is just like, okay, we can do this sort of I don't know, like hair metal-y influenced kind of rock, but then if we want to, we can write a song that's like a legit, it's got a throwback vibe, like 60s pop, 70s pop, whatever. And this has elements of that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, More Than Words was released as a single on March 12th, 1991, the same month as this.
Well,
I
it
wonder if something was circulating around, you know, behind the scenes that people are like, well, they're doing this acoustic ballad. Maybe we should do one.
Well, this To Be With You came out as a single in November.
Yeah, the album came out in 1990, so maybe they hustled it through and did their version.
But it's cool when bands do that. They kind of let their guard down and do something. Not every song is exactly the same. It's as much as I enjoy like Yngwie Malmsteen's Rising Force.
Mm-hmm.
That album, every song, instrumentation, everything is the same,
Right.
Yeah.
you know.
And there's very little restraint.
Very
in
little
the lead
restraint.
guitar in terms of like reining it in and playing something a little more melodic. Even though the guy can just completely shred your face.
Well, and there's a little fatigue there on the part of the listener when it's, I mean, it's great, and then after a while it's like, okay, like something is just zapping the energy out of me as I listen to the rest of the album.
Right. And it's also pretty much driving any females away from listening to it for a prolonged length of time. So,
All right, Chris.
I'm gonna Sweet Surrender it. Yeah.
It's sweet surrender. Hell yes.
Yeah, I'm like everybody else. Well, a couple people on the live feed, and like Nick, I liked it more and more as it went on, and I appreciate the fact that a guy like Paul Gilbert can rein it in for the solo and just play something simple and melodic. You know, when somebody can just max out his abilities on the guitar, but then rein it in. I've always been impressed by that. And someone I've mentioned, you know, who's continues to do it, but would be Vivian Campbell. How you know, guitar nerds all say like, well, he sucks in Def Leppard because he doesn't shred anymore, and it's like, well, a couple things going on. One, I'm sure he's glad to look out in the audience and actually see women. And second, it just illustrates his professionalism and his ability to just, you know, blend in and play for the song, play for the band, and that's professionalism at its highest level.
And be very, very, I mean, I'm thinking every song he's got vocal duties, important backup vocal duties. So
he does, yeah. Well,
so
yes.
I mean, you're in Def Leppard. That's you got to be able to do that. That shows another side of his musicianship.
Yeah.
So,
you know, he's a total pro, and so are these guys. I mean, you know, it's one thing you gotta, even Mr. Green-Tinted pizza delivery guy, hat wearing Andy can acknowledge as, you know, pure professionalism on this track, from the production to the performances to the songwriting. You know, that's probably why they weren't bigger. I mean, it's not, I mean, there's better songwriting out there, but in general, it's pretty good. You know, melodies there, great vocal. I mean, one of the more underrated vocalists of that era, I would say.
And I wanted to quickly address the album cover that's pretty well known for this.
What was it?
The train, you know,
oh yeah,
right there.
Yep.
The I might say it wrong. The Montparnasse train incident in 1895 just reminded me a movie I very much enjoy. I don't know if how many people out there have seen it. It's called Hugo.
Oh yeah, I didn't see it.
But that's reenacted.
Really?
To an extent in that movie.
Okay.
There's that's I don't know if it's the exact name of the station that it takes place in. I don't recall.
But that's some kind of train wreck.
Yeah, there's a very similar. There's a reference to that. There's a reference to Django Reinhardt sitting there playing inside of the train station.
Okay.
Very good movie. I think Martin Scorsese had something to do with it. I don't know if he directed it or some other capacity, but very good movie. If people are looking for one that they haven't seen,
I have to add Hugo to my list.
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right.
Jerry Kern said he had the Vivian Campbell Starlicks guitar tape. The moment I heard the Rainbow in the Dark solo, first of all, I loved it, but I was like, I will never be able to play like that. That's beyond my capability. But yeah, some of those, you know, Yngwie had, you know, the instructional tapes and stuff, and just, you know, we had them playing from open to close at Guitar Center. George Lynch and Pelletieri, all these guys. And I'd walk past the screen, I'd be looking at them like, I'm never going to get there as a player. It's just, you got to respect the work it takes to get to that level. Of course, in the modern world, you see like 5-year-old Asian girls on YouTube shredding, you know, the hardest Mr. Big or Yngwie solos, and it's like, okay, how did that happen? They haven't been on this planet long enough to be putting in the work, but it's crazy.
Yeah, the world is basically the Ed Sullivan Show at this point, where anybody who has a freakish talent is now somewhat given a spotlight.
That's true.
Well, yeah, there's no barrier to entry to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
So
one thing,
which is a good thing and also a terrible thing, depending on your perspective.
There's something I remember seeing, and I don't know if it was in, I don't know what Vivian Campbell video this was exactly, but it's something that I think about if I'm trying to learn something on guitar. And it's simple, but it's something that I'd never heard anybody actually say before. And it was something along the lines of, if you're trying to play something and you've got to play it pretty fast,
Mm-hmm.
you've got to play it for a long time slow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you really make sure you've got the feel of how to play it slowly first.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, obvious, it seems,
Yeah.
but I'd never heard anybody put it that way. And I
Just
was
to
like,
kind of get the pattern.
I was like,
of-
yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense, instead of like trying to do it full speed.
Well, you have to develop the muscle memory.
That
is really
too.
what it is. But
Yeah, it's the muscle memory, but it's also like the melodically and getting the
Mhm.
feel for the notes and everything like that,
Sure.
instead of just trying to peel it off
Yeah, that makes sense.
the first time.
yeah,
That's cool.
There's some wisdom in those guitar licks videos.
I'm sure. I'm sure there's also a lot of the opposite of wisdom in some of them, depending which one.
Who do you think has the least wisdom in their Starlix videos?
least I don't know about the least wisdom, but I know that the George Lynch ones, you could tell the last thing he wanted to be doing was filming that. He's just completely disinterested.
Really?
Didn't care about being in the spotlight.
No,
as
he's
a-
just
as a guitar
he's just
legend.
shredding it up, emotionless, like barely saying anything, and just is that we always got a kick out of that one. It's like he's just like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
And do I would rather be doing anything
Yeah.
else than this right now.
Something that everybody who ever goes into a Guitar Center wishes he were on that video.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
and,
and he's just
and
like,
Lynch
yeah,
could not care.
No, I want this over with.
Got stuff to do. All right. Well, if you disagree with us, we're sorry.
That's just the fucking way it is.
Let's have ourselves a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with a Yardo questions.
I don't get yards of questions, motherfucker. I give them. All right, swing it away. Yes, chief.
All right. This week's Yardo questions comes to us from Joe Urban.
Hello, Joe.
Says, hey guys, thanks for picking my questions a couple of months ago.
I don't remember that.
Thanks, Joe. I wasn't planning on writing in again, but
I thought that was Keith Urban's
Yeah.
yard of questions.
yeah. This
What's your favorite Nicole Kidman movie?
Mm.
Uh,
Are they still married?
I think so.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know that I've ever seen one.
Bewitched.
Oh, I saw that one.
I wasn't planning on writing in again, but I wanted to warn you about zucchini spread. Don't trust the Zook. I
Oh,
know him
man.
personally. Once I couldn't make our fantasy football draft, so he drafted for me. I told him who I wanted, but he turned around and took the guy for his own team instead.
Ah, Zook.
F
Yeah,
that
Zook.
guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, questions.
Some heat there. I like it.
Yeah. Question 1. What's your opinion on remastering and remixing older albums? I know the remastering was necessary for albums earlier than 1990 or so, but it seems like it's become a gimmick. Do some albums from the 90s really need to be remastered? Also, how do you feel about bands remixing older albums? For example, when Dave Mustaine remixed all the old Megadeth albums and even in some cases re-recorded parts and rearranged the song.
Terrible.
Well, that's a definite no for me.
Yeah.
I hate
New
that.
vocals,
that was
different.
that's a disgrace.
Yeah. It should never,
Like,
should
just-
never happen.
Just keep paying the people who worked on the original.
And that's really what it comes
Yeah.
down to. It's it's not a creative thing. It's a fucking money thing. It's such a shitty thing to do to everybody involved. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't personally care for it. I'm trying to think if there's anything I've ever heard
I don't
where I
ever
thought,
like
"Ooh,
it.
this sounds better."
Yeah.
Like I really like this. Like,
And sometimes even
I
if
mean-
it sounds better, you're used to what it was and it sounds wrong. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like there's Ramones remastered albums that I've listened to and I'm like, there's like a little more separation of the instruments. It's a little more clear and it just sounds wrong. It doesn't,
Yeah.
It's not the way that I heard it 1,000 times and it's like, no good for me.
I could see where if they felt that in order for it to be something that's commercially viable in this day and age, that they might need to boost the overall levels of everything. But just remixing it, and re-recording things, no.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever liked anything that's been re-recorded. I mean, I may not dislike it in particular, but never did I think, like the Kiss stuff, I thought, oh, it's kind of cool to hear Hotter Than Hell with, like, even though it's recorded with, you know, in 2009 or whatever, but with more clarity. It's like, oh, this is interesting. But I can't think of an instance. I mean, and then of course there's the mother of them all, is the first two Ozzy solo albums.
Yeah.
When they had, what was it, Borden and
Trujillo.
Yeah.
They had them redo their parts.
Both very capable.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's not the same.
It's easy for me to say because I didn't stand to make any money. But again, what were we talking about earlier? Where if people just said no to this shit, it would stop happening.
Yeah.
I lost a little respect for those two for agreeing to do that.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to be, you know what? I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I don't care how much money
Yeah.
you pay me. But that's easy for me to say because that's not my livelihood. But man,
Well,
just the notion of redoing Daisley and Kerslake stuff is just an abomination.
Well, and it's the first song on the first album is when it's apparent that this is a mistake. When you hear the bass fills going into from I Don't Know, doom, 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 doom,
Yeah.
and it's just not the same. And it's like, I hate this.
Yeah,
Like,
should be rejected outright.
like it's not even the same.
It should have been like, and in a perfect world, it should have been like this was Sharon Osbourne's idea, but she couldn't bring it to fruition because literally no one would do it. That in a perfect world, that would have been
somebody will always do it.
Somebody will always do it. I get that, but it's an abomination.
When was that?
Early aughts.
Mid.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Okay.
Now, what was the question? Was it strictly the 90s is what he was asking about?
He was just saying, like, dude, these albums from the 90s really need to be remastered. Like, if it came out at a time where it's, like, I'm guessing he's saying that sort of sounds modern enough, why do they need to remaster it again? Like, I don't know if they've done any of the albums you mentioned, Nevermind or 10 or Blood Sugar Sex Magic, but, like, do albums like that need to come out again?
I don't think so because again, the quality of recording went way up in term when the music scene shifted.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just trying to. I'm trying to think of one. Probably the lurkers out there can come up with something, but I know there are instances where the artist says that because of maybe financial restraint or restrictions back when they recorded it, they didn't have the equipment, or whether it be the amps, the guitars, the recording equipment, whatever,
the time
that they wish they'd had, and it didn't. Now they can go back and make it sound like what they envisioned.
Yeah.
I mean, that I could see is kind of cool if there is something where, yes, it's a beloved recording, but the artist really, since it was actually released, really wished that they could have, that it could have sounded differently. Like it didn't live up
every
to that.
band is like that, especially early on in your career. It's like you can't just go back and fix things, especially if you're in a position to do that and anybody gives a fuck that you're doing it. It's because they loved that album the way it came out.
Right.
The other example I'll just bring out real quick is, so when ZZ Top hit it big in the 80s with Eliminator, with the electronic drums and stuff, they released the ZZ Top 6-pack, which is a box set of their first 6 albums, but with all the drums redone electronically. Completely ruined the vibe of those. I mean, if you listen to the original recordings of those, I mean, Frank Beard was a pretty kick-ass drummer at his own unique style, and then they just completely pulled all of that out of those albums, and it just doesn't sound right. I mean, it's like 80s drums with early 70s everything else. It was just not good.
Question 2. What's your opinion on bass players using picks or not using picks? Generally, to me, it does seem that players who use their fingers are better musicians. I do understand that picks are probably more useful for music like thrash, though.
Again, whatever suits the song.
Yeah.
You know? Whatever is going to work better for whatever you're working on at the time. That's what you're going to do. I mean, one of the greatest bass players of all time, Carol Kay, session player. She used a pick all the time. So I don't think you can differentiate about someone's level of musicianship. It's just what style are you playing and what does the music call for?
Yeah, I guess it just seems like it's maybe more of an impressive feat to play something with your fingers and have every note come out clear and even, like an even volume, even striking intensity, if that's such a thing. I guess it's more impressive, and I could see where it's harder to do that. But yeah, as far as
what's impressive, playing the right stuff for the song.
Well, yeah, and it's not like if I ever. I don't think I ever think that. Like if I see a bass player with a pick, I don't think my mind goes there where it's, this guy must not be that good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Chris Squire of Yes, one of the greatest bass players of all time, was predominantly a pick player. Nobody's saying he wasn't a good musician or very good on the bass.
I mean, I think like the intro to Peace Sells, how perfect and great that is on bass. If someone did that with their fingers, it wouldn't have the same attack. It wouldn't be the same.
Yeah. I think saying that if you use your fingers, you're a better musician is like a college freshman mentality of
it is
thinking you know what you're talking about. But really, it's like what you guys said. It's just what's the end result? Did you get there? Did it come out good?
Yeah.
That's it.
But look at Metallica. Cliff Burton, fingerstyle player. Jason Newsted played with a pick. Trujillo now is a fingerstyle player.
Yeah.
They've had both.
It all works.
All fits, all works.
It all works.
Of course, Jackie has to point out that Mike Dirnt uses a pick.
There
we knew that, Jack. What's next? Are you going to tell us he has frosted tips on his spiked hair? Yeah, we know this about him.
And that he has the same face as Vladimir Putin.
Certain facial resemblances to old Nick over here as well.
Yeah, that too. All right.
That should be Nick's Halloween costume every year.
I'm gonna be
Mike Dirnt.
I'm gonna be Mike Dirnt dressed as Vladimir Putin next year.
Next year, the three of us should go as Green.
We could do that.
Andy's got a Trey Cool vibe going with him.
Sounds good.
All right.
I can be Billy Joe.
It's gonna work. Okay, third question. What do you think of bands who have a song they refuse to play? You've touched on this before with Faith No More, inexplicably never playing Falling to Pieces,
their
live,
best song,
which I don't get, and Ozzy not playing Shot in the Dark live.
Wow.
Those are pretty big songs to outright never play live. Another example is Metallica with the song Escape from Ride the Lightning.
They
James
have played it.
Hates it. Okay.
They have, and I think... I mean, it's rare, but they have pulled that. And see, Metallica does that, though. Metallica is like, all right, we'll do this thing just for the hardcore fans.
Yeah, and they mix up sets and stuff.
This Joe says they did play it once a few years back when they did that entire album live. Plus, it's a deep cut. Anyway, love you guys, and keep up the great work. Thank you, Joe Urban.
Thanks, Joe. And that song reminds me of being on the All-Star Thunderbolt.
Escape?
Yeah.
I can't even think of which song that is. I'm sure I know it, but
I I always liked it, but I guess it's one of those things where I don't know if Metallica fans dislike it or just supposedly the band is kind of embarrassed of it. I don't know, but it's during the Cliff Burton era,
Yeah.
so
So in general, what do I think of it? I mean, I think it's a little. Look, if you're at the level where you're a legacy band and you're 20 years into your career and you're still playing stadiums and whatnot, you have to understand why you're still able to do that, and that's because of your top material and casual fans buying those tickets because they want to hear that material.
Yeah.
You got to keep that in mind.
and I always enjoy when I can't think of a specific, but I have heard and read artists say this. I always enjoy it when they say, like, yeah, people like that song's overplayed, but every night when we play it, it's awesome.
Yeah,
Like
people,
I love playing it still. Like it's because you'll hear a band say, "Oh yeah, we're sick of Enter Sandman, whatever," but then you will hear bands who say the opposite. Like, yeah, we've played it a million times. Everybody's heard it a million times, but when we play it in an arena or a stadium, it's the greatest thing ever.
Actually, you know what's worse than not playing your hit is playing a redone, like rearranged, like version of your hit. Like
Yeah.
if it was an up-tempo rocker, playing it as like a stripped-down ballad or vice versa. It's like if you're gonna play it the familiar version. Otherwise,
like a Bob Dylan thing. He was known for doing that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just
I'm trying to think of an
completely
example,
rearranging his big songs.
Hmm.
Like I remember seeing on Woodstock '94, he did "Rainy Day Women." I didn't know what song it was until it was almost the end.
One example that's coming to mind, I want to say that like Sheryl Crow, her first big hit, "All I Want to Do," she doesn't play it like that. She'll occasionally play it, but it doesn't sound anything like.
That's lame.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's like
I'd feel a little ripped off.
I'd rather not have it in the set than have a bullshit version of it that they, which goes back to the thing of like, oh, we didn't want to do it that way back in the day, but some producer told us to do it that way, and it became a big hit and all, and that's great. But we're gonna play our original vision of it for you tonight. It's like I don't want to hear that. I want to hear the song that put you on the map.
I mean, unless you do like, which I think this works. I think it's Bringing On a Heartbreak. They'll have their like Two Steps Behind and a couple of acoustic songs. They'll start Bringing On a Heartbreak with the same setup. However, about halfway through, they make their ways back to the drums and the electric guitars and everything. That I could see. Where you're maybe not playing it 100% the same way, but that's maybe a rare instance. But yeah, ultimately to answer the question, I think it's pretty lame.
Yeah.
Because I guess maybe just the older I get, the more I just don't have any patience with the insanely successful yet still suffering artist.
Yeah, it's hard to care about their feelings at that point.
It really is. Like I get it, and it's great that you're still flexing your artistic muscles.
Mm-hmm.
But like Chris said, if you are playing these huge shows,
yeah.
I mean, sure, if you're doing, what Metallica did that Garage Inc. tour years ago, where they're like, we're gonna play the Aragon, play whatever you want. But if it's like you're playing, you're gonna have to play Nothing Else Matters.
Right.
Like, there's just really no way around it. You have to play Unforgiven or something like that.
Yeah.
That's you agreed to play this massive show.
Right.
So you got to play your massive material.
Yeah, that'd be like, and this would never happen in a million years. But can you imagine people who filled up a baseball stadium to see Journey and they didn't play "Don't Stop Believin'"?
Yeah,
I mean, They know they would never do that in a million
Yeah.
years because you simply can't do it.
It's
Can't
like
do it.
it's like going to Olive Garden and the never-ending breadsticks have ended. That's why you're there.
That's exactly why
Yeah.
you're there.
That's why you made a special trip.
All right. Well, thank you, Joe, for your Yardo questions. And if you want to submit a Yardo questions, go to potofthunder.com, click that widget, send 1, 2, 3 questions our way, and we will read them on the show. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back next week.
French fried potatoes, garlic mashed potatoes, loaded baked potato, or the waffle fries on the rice.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. I hope we did Pope stuff. That's the big hit that people came for. So see, we follow our own philosophies.
Period where we didn't do it and realized it was a mistake.